Hello, and welcome to Wyverns and Weirdos Fathomless, D&D Podcast set in the World of Fierlor. I'm your Dungeon Master, Darby, and joining me as always are Mitch playing 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, Jake playing the Fishman, Joe playing 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, Laura playing 𝗔𝗦𝗧, Zoe playing 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, and Eddie playing 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧. Let's jump into it. Where we last left off, after meeting and having a discussion with Loomis, the party returned to their ship, accompanied by the 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, who had been just chilling around Loomis's lunar citadel for a while. And after the 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 gave one of its three messages that will ever say, the Red Phoenix ascended from Fierlor and went straight for the lunar citadel, passing with a brief bit of combat thus far underneath the spirited gull. The Red Phoenix brought with it an astral tempest, letting that loose upon the not the Polaris, that's the old ship, the spirited gull, letting that loose upon the spirited gull, or using it as a distraction to reach the citadel. So we have thus far been through one round of combat in which several of the party were blown off the ship by the astral tempest, and 𝗖𝗦𝗧 is currently floating towards Red Phoenix and the Citadel, and I believe the only party member on the deck of the ship at the moment is 𝗔𝗦𝗧. Everyone else has either been knocked off, is flying off, or is within the ship. So at the top of round 2, we pick back up with 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧.
So 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 is one of the people that very much was flung off the ship, and
yes.
So he's probably just kind of flailing in the air, probably like desperately trying to reach out to the deck as he feels like his death is imminent, before he realizes this strange gravity and the way that he's just kind of like floating. So his first priority is going to be make his way back on the ship. He wants solid ground under his feet. So, as unfortunately, he got triggered 2 levels of exhaustion going into this combat. He's able to move 19 feet, 19.5 feet, technically, which just gets him onto the deck of the ship again. And he's gonna kind of like get himself on steady footing and assess the situation. So the astral tempest is like nearing the ship.
And the storm that accompanies it at this point is surrounding the ship.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Do we have anyone at the helm steering the ship, actually?
𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧.
Okay, cool. Well, he can't make it there anyway. This is probably pretty futile, but he's going to aim his pistols at the astral tempest.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to fire 3 shots. I'm not sure how effective this is going to be. Alrighty, so first shot is a 17 to hit. Ooh, not too good.
17 misses, unfortunately. You get into one of the kind of cloudier portions of it, and the bullet just passes through.
Understandable. Next one, he's going to retry going with the aim. He's going to fiddle with the device a little bit, and I'm going to add some fire damage to this one.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. I'm using physical dice now. Oh. That was a 16, so that one will miss.
Yeah.
Bonus action. Let's give him a go. Come on. Okay, so bonus action, that is a 23 to hit.
A 23 will certainly hit.
Can't put much damage into this one, but that will be... Oh, okay. Dice will roll on the floor. Never mind. I will roll it here. So that will just be 4 points of damage.
Not a lot, but there's no resistance here, so...
That's good to know.
Because, yeah, at least because it's a magical attack.
Yeah.
So, anything with, yes, you have done the bonus, haven't you? Because your extra attack was bonus. Okay. So next is Neris.
So I think Neris looks with his sort of weird enhanced vision that he gets from sitting at this helm. His first priority would be to try and get everyone back on board the vessel. And I think he begins to steer this ship in the direction of the closest person, which would probably be off to the right to grab Loren, and then continuing for Fishman. However, I think seeing Alton's kind of swimming, floating, flying, whatever you would like to call it, I think Neris isn't going to do anything further than that. It will just rotate the ship a little bit so that it is hopefully directly under both of them. But yeah, that's possible.
I don't think you can quite rotate directly under both Loren and Alton. Loren and Fishman.
Loren and Fishman. Alton's
Not
already...
quite boss. You'd basically have to move the ship sideways, which doesn't really maneuver that way. Otherwise, they're kind of too far apart to just do it by rotation.
In that case, we will just rotate just 10 degrees to the right, get the ship underneath Loren, and I'm assuming activating the cannon is an action.
It would be, yes.
Perfect. In that case, we are going to use that rotation of the ship to line up another shot, adjust that cannon from the direction of the Red Phoenix to pointing directly at this elemental creature entity, and we're just going to open fire.
Okay. Roll to hit.
That is a 15 on the die.
15 will miss. Oh, no, on the
just
die.
on the die. I can't remember what the actual...
It's plus your...
that's going to be a yes.
All right. Yeah, that'll definitely hit.
26. Yeah.
And I believe it was 4d10 for the damage.
4d10, yes.
And it's force damage, which it doesn't have any sort of resistance to. Yeah, no resistance to.
That is a 23 force damage.
Yeah, lovely. So that would be your go, unless you have any bonus actions to mess around with.
No, I think Neris will essentially just have his quite illusory double, but that presence just standing at the front on deck.
Okay.
If possible, but his still actual physical form is still in helm.
Okay.
Very much where it's safe.
Yeah. So next is Aldrin, who I can't remember if he was already or not, but if he isn't already, he's gonna change shape. I think he might have been. I think he might have changed.
Yeah, I think so.
And then couldn't do anything because that was his whole action. So this turn, he is going to arc up his head and his breath weapon up at the Astral Tempest. I think he's going to use his... Is that worth it? Let's try the Weakening Breath. So the Astral Tempest has to roll a Strength saving throw. That is a 21 that fails. So it has disadvantage on strength-based attack rolls, strength checks, and strength saving throws for the next minute. Although it can repeat the save at the end of each of its turn. But that's going to be big for you guys, I think. This creature disadvantage on pretty much all of its rolled attacks. All right. So next is the Fishman. Fishman, what do you like to do?
All right. So Fishman also got knocked off the boat.
Yeah.
Off the crow's nest, and he's floating away. But instead of making his way back, he's going to kind of try and kind of turn himself, or at least ready his weapon in a bit of a position where he can get a good shot at the cloud. And he'd like to, first off, as per his ability Distant Striker, teleport 10 feet towards the boat.
Yeah.
And then he'd like to take a shot at the Tempest.
Yeah.
So let's see how that goes. That is a 25 to hit.
All right, that suddenly hits.
So that is only 7 damage. of piercing, but that's okay. Now that he knows he's at the very least above the boat, he's going to teleport another 10 feet. So now he's back in the crow's nest, and he's going to change his aim towards the red fiend, and he'd like to take a shot at Prime, if he can.
All right. So what is the range on your...
He picked up as a boon sharpshooter. His range for the weapon is 400 feet long range, and he doesn't suffer disadvantage because of sharpshooter anymore.
Hey.
Be safe to do. I believe it was about 230 feet.
Yeah, so from where you are, it's about
Phoenix.
220 to 210, 220, yeah.
Yeah.
210, 220 from where Prime is.
Or so he's going to use his bonus action now. Oh, sorry, hang on. There is a... He can't use that at the moment. Don't worry. He's just going to take the attack. So hopefully he hits. Natural 20. Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Rightio. So yeah, that was a 27 to hit with 12 damage, which I think Beyond already doubled that for piercing.
Yeah.
Which it did, yes. And now that he made 2 attacks on 2 different enemies, he can now make a third attack.
So how much damage total was that against?
12 total.
12 total. Okay. All right. There we go.
All right, and finally, we've got your aim at 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, because he has to attack a third different opponent for distance strike, and he'll make a third attack against 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 if he can.
Okay. Yeah.
No teleporting this time. We're doing pretty good today. 22 to hit for 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧.
Who just hits?
Just hits. Excellent. All right, and that one was 3, but I am going to see if I can re-roll that with Piercer. Let me just double check if I can do that, or does that have to be a crit? No, I can just do it once. If it's a crit, I can add it, but I'm just going to re-roll that. So yeah, let's do that, because I didn't like that. And I got worse. That's okay. 5 damage.
5 damage. Okay.
And yeah, he can't really do anything. Is there anything he can do as a bonus action to like brace, or I'm pretty sure I'm too used to being a rogue where you can just do everything as a bonus action.
Yeah, no, that's I think that would be the like defense bonus action.
Yeah. No, that's it. That's Fishman's turn.
I don't remember the exact word for it at the moment, but it's usually an action. Dodge. It's usually an action unless you're... That might only be monk off the top of my head, but it might be a rogue thing as well. Anyway, next is Janice.
Okay. So again, Janice is just sort of trying to keep up with everything that's going around him. He almost like hunkers down a little bit more in like panic as he sees basically everyone on deck get swept off, but then by the time he's even like started to move, people are already pulling themselves back onto the ship. And so he just and like sees the ship like twist and turn, and this pulsing roar of like a storm around him, which would be quite disorientating, I imagine, considering I assume visibility is also not perfect, so he wouldn't be able to see people until they just come back into his line of sight, I suppose.
Yeah.
Or out of that direct maelstrom. I'll edit this out. I still haven't decided what to do, because I'm not a long-range fighter.
You do have wings.
I can't breathe in space.
The Tempest is close enough that you could fly up to it, and it would still be...
Yeah. Alright. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Alright. And so, satisfied that he can see most people back, he's not entirely sure what's going on. He, again, has this sort of shadow of frustration over something that he wants to do but can't. And so instead he turns squarely to where he can sort of see that focus of like where he can sort of innately feel the focus point of this storm, this like unnatural energy that's sort of like creating such a like this like gale that's been whipped up out of nowhere in a space where there is no wind, no things that he can kind of find purchase on. And he goes, all right then, we'll deal with this first. And Janice is going to turn around, and he will jump up The little storm grey celestial wings will sort of sprout out from his back as he will. Yeah, so he's going to basically use his action to dash to the center of the storm. So I know that the movement once we're up in the air is quite difficult. However, he can fly, and he is essentially an angel of thunder and lightning. So I'm going to use my charger feat, which I just picked up recently. So he's going to, with his action dash, leap up and just charge with this immense speed, using basically the momentum of all of this and the pocket of air around the ship to leap up and just torpedo into this tempest. And as a bonus action, I can take an attack, as part of my dash action as well. Just roll a hit. So that's a 21 to hit.
One suddenly hits.
Cool. So that's 13 points of slashing damage, and just a moment, and 9 points of thunder damage, although I'm not sure if that would be doing anything much to it.
It is immune to thunder damage, sadly.
Yeah. Alright, that's fine. And he doesn't really do anything else. He's just sort of pinpointed in the center of this vortex. Yeah.
All right. Not too bad. Okay, next is Loren.
Oh boy. Okay. So, Mr. DM.
Yes.
On Neris's turn, he did move the ship slightly. Yes.
Yes. So I have adjusted your position to account for that.
Yeah. But I'm also he moved the ship forward as well. Am I correct in that assessment?
He did specify I just rotated it.
Yeah.
Just rotated?
Yep.
Okay. Loren is going to... Yeah, so she starts moving back towards the deck of the ship in the middle of this storm, this absolute rocketing wind around her. And she was going to ask Janice what to do next, but then he flies into the heart of this storm. So he flies into the heart of the storm. So she just kind of basically flips a coin mentally to decide if she's going to ask for forgiveness or beg permission. Oh boy, I will actually highs-lows it. Hi, we're asking for forgiveness. She's going to get basically right to the edge, use that fly speed she has to get near to the tip, the pointy bit of the boat. She knows what the word is, Zoe doesn't. And she's going to call out, I think they're trying to confuse us with too many fish to fry. If anyone wants to get closer to the real action, come with me. And I am going to hold my action to thunderstep to the Red Phoenix.
Okay. All right. So what is the trigger for your held action?
I feel like it's cheating, but basically the trigger will be if anyone comes up to Loren and says, yes, I want to come with you to the Red Phoenix by the start of my next turn. If not, then I will go
Okay.
at the start of my next turn.
She's
She's giving everyone 6 seconds to decide if they want to come with her and fuck Exley up in 4K.
Love that.
That's Can I do a bonus action if I'm holding an action?
Yeah, because it's your action to hold an action, basically.
Cool. Then as a bonus action, oh man, everything I do is light. Okay, I'm gonna bonus action. I'm gonna sorcery point, bonus action, Ray of Frost at Tempest. So that's gonna be a 22 to hit.
22 suddenly hits.
And that is going to be, 9 points of cold damage.
All right. So next is the Tempest. So the Tempest is going to, I believe it's, no, it hasn't used to get the Screaming Gale it used last time. So this time it's going to use its Lightning Storm ability. So, no, I feel like it's used, maybe not. Okay. So it's going to use Lightning Storm. So each creature within 120 feet of it, which is everyone except for Galut on the ship, is going to have to roll me a dexterity saving throw, please.
That was basically everyone except Galut?
Yes.
3 for fish.
23 for Fisherman.
Mitch.
That is fine. Neris?
Being inside doesn't change anything, does it?
No.
That is a solid 12.
Okay.
8 for Janice.
That makes sense. He's in the heart of the storm.
Got a net 20, so it's 25.
Loren's Aquarius tattoo flashes with blue light, but I don't think that's gonna do a lot with teen.
17, that's enough to evade the secondary effect, but not enough to evade the primary effect. Everyone except for Fishman and Alton takes 27 points of lightning damage. So Fishman and Alton take half of that, being 13.
And another half.
Yes, another half. So Loren, that would be halved for you. Janice, that would be halved for you because it is lightning damage.
Would that be 6 or 7? Can't remember. It's rounded
It would be 6. And then Loren isn't affected by the secondary effect. So Neris and Janice, you are both stunned until the end of your next turn. But because of the nature of the astral sea, if you were back on Fierlor, Janice, you would find yourself plummeting to the ground in this moment. Because of the nature of the astral sea, you're floating there and still in place.
I guess technically he's been tossed around because he's at the
Yeah.
center of that storm anyway. So
Yeah.
not a great place to be, but
No.
I suppose not an immediate bone crunching.
No. All right. So that's the Tempests go. Next is Galut, floating as it is between the two ships.
So I have an important question for you, Darby, which will determine what Galut's next move will be. Would Prime be considered humanoid?
No. Prime is undead.
Oh, never have anything cool. Okay, that's fine. Galut is going to keep moving forward. It's going to dash towards the Red Phoenix, just trying to get as close as it can. So that's another 50 feet. And that takes its action and bonus action, I believe. So, boring turn, but that's fine.
Yeah. All in the aim of getting further. So, next is the Zadar, which is just gonna stand there or float there. Kind of, Loren, it's like right by you. It almost feels like it's just looking at you placidly. Just arms and legs simultaneously appearing both stiff and limp in the way that they're just lowered in position.
You're just an ominous number 8 ball, aren't you? Useless.
Next is 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧. So 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 is going to all he can really do, unless he wants to cast a spell. Maybe beast is specifically beast. It's not monster. Galut, can you please roll me a saving throw? I'm just double checking a wisdom saving throw.
Probably should have got my dice out, considering I knew that combat was what we would be doing this session, but I am nothing if not just bad-brained. So wisdom saving throw, was it?
Yes.
So just checking what. Does the aura of protection also count to myself or only for people?
Yes, it does count to yourself. It would already be incorporated in, I believe, for your Beyond sheet.
Yeah, I'd believe so.
Yeah.
I would believe that, looking at those stats, actually. That is an 18.
18
Wisdom saving throw.
does save. As you feel this magic, this familiar dark magic try to warp your form again, and you just resist its shaping. As you shake off an attempted polymorph spell.
As Galut, I'm in my fuck around and find out era, I guess. But while there isn't any of the crew nearby, what our quote-unquote viewers would see in this moment is a wave of a strange expression cross over an expressionless face, a writhing, almost nausea, and its eyes widen with panic for just a brief second before determination sets back in again.
As stubborn as ever. Number 5041. Prime, deal with it. And that brings us to Prime's go, as Prime doesn't quite have the speed to deal with it per se at the moment. but makes its way up to kind of interpose itself between 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 and yourself, Gulut. We can have any ranged stuff. Yeah, it's gonna throw a few axes at you. 3, in fact.
Yep, very cool. Very cool.
All right. So the lowest of the 3 is a 16.
16 doesn't hit.
16 doesn't
What
hit.
were the other two?
The other 2 are a dirty 20 and a 22.
Yeah, those hit.
Right.
16 doesn't, so I'll take my wins where I
Yes.
get them.
So that's a 14 and a 15 slashing damage on each of those attacks.
Cool.
All right. Next is Loomis. Loomis is going to swing his staff and point it towards 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 and let out a moonbolt. That just hits because I rolled very poorly. So that is going to be 25 points of radiant damage against 𝗖𝗧𝗧.
What does a god attacking a mortal look like, though?
Yeah, so this is one of Loomis's more simple efforts as this beam of radiant light innovates out from the staff to wash 𝗖𝗧𝗧, and it almost burns away in this divine light some of the fungal spores that grow upon his armor, wooden form. That is Loomis's go. Next, we are back to Alton.
Oh boy. So Alton would have kind of like heard like Lorenz like call out to get in on the action. And he kind of like would have turned to her and been like, should we really be splitting up now? And like as if in cue the attack from like the storm, like tempest creature happens, and Alton manages to like hold his ground, but he sees the other people kind of like seemingly like paralyzed. And Alton like goes and looks to assess everyone, seeing Janice and Neris in trouble. So he will go to start running towards Neris, but he can't get very far this turn. But as he does so, he's going to quickly like grab something out of a pocket and just kind of fling it behind him a bit more towards Loren. And you'll see like a small little, it looks like a tiny little pistol. Wheels will just kind of pop out and it'll start trundling along on its own. And it's got these like kind of goofy like little like flame like painted stripes on it. And it's gonna like trundle along 15 feet towards Loren. And then Alton himself is going to run 15 feet, hardly at all towards Neris and Janet. So it's quite good.
All right. So next is Neris from within the helm of the ship.
Neris, I think, is just going to sort of brush himself off and try and retreat back to his mental fortress as this giant cacophony has happened.
Yeah, considering there's not much else you can do as you are stunned. But you are no longer stunned as you end your turn.
Excellent.
All right. Next is Eldrin, who is going to... What are his spells? Can he do anything in this moment? What? This would probably make sense. He is going to fly up into the Tempest and by you, Janice. And just going to double check that this is the right duration for this spell. But he is going to cast... Greater Restoration on you, Janice, and you are no longer stunned.
So he just like feels his magic sort of just like wash over him from the center of this storm. And he doesn't know who it comes from. He just goes, "Thank you," which is lost to the wind.
Is the Fishman.
All right, so it's going to be very similar to what he did last time, except for his bonus action, he's going to go invisible with Nature's Veil. Hopefully be able to farm some crits. Let's see how we go. So, first things first, he'll attack the Tempest again.
Roll to hit.
When it lets me. Alright, so that one there was a 17 and an even worse. So 17 to hit.
17 misses, unfortunately.
That's okay. So in that case, case, Fishman might have a look at how Galoot is doing, and would like to take another shot at Prime if he can.
Okay, roll to hit.
13 and 19.
19. Yeah, 19 hits.
Excellent. All right. So that is 13 piercing damage.
No.
And unfortunately, he only hit once, so he can't take a third attack.
Okay.
And then he might say on the earpiece that he's invisible, and he is on the crow's nest if anyone is looking for him.
Okay. So next is Janice, the newly reinvigorated.
Okay, so yeah, again, Janice just sort of like says thank you, and then tries to sort of recenter himself in this like maelstrom, and he kind of like digs into that resolve that's ever burning within him, and he's going to bonus action rage as sort of lightning lances around within this sort of center of the storm, which almost feels like it's almost going to form to it, but he can't quite grasp it. His own storm is dwarfed by this massive, unusual, strange aberration, but regardless, that is enough to focus him and hone him in, and he is going to I guess I'm going to reckless attack, I suppose.
Yeah.
With the Wave Rider Glaive. So just a moment. So first attack is a 26 to hit.
26 certainly hits.
Cool. And then that's 16 points of slashing damage and
Nice.
7 points of thunder damage, which again is sort of like the reverberation of it just dissipates in the force of this immense pressure. No.
But 16 points of slashing damage is still a good chunk.
Not bad. And second attack, reckless again. Oh boy. Okay, that's a 19 to hit.
Okay, yeah, that just hits.
Excellent. So he still manages to find purchase. He's trying to sort of figure out where the pit of this creature, because it must be a creature. But he has fought smaller creatures like this before, but nothing to this immensity. But there is just one single point that he needs to find, one purpose for all of this. And so again, he stabs him with the Wave Rider Glaive, and that is... Hang on. 11 points of slashing damage.
Nice.
And 6 points of thunder damage.
Okay.
And again, he doesn't say anything. He doesn't reply to Fishman's message that, hey, I'm invisible, by the way, and stuff like that. He is just focused singularly on getting the job done. And that's his turn.
Loren, you have given your allies the 6 seconds. So to begin with, I guess you make your thunder step. That's your held action.
So I will take the gun with the Guy Fieri paint job. Gun Fieri, I will take it with me. As I can take objects with me.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing within 10 feet of me as well.
Yeah, other than the Zadar, which would just be dead weight.
Yeah. The Tempest doesn't take like lightning or thunder damage, right?
No.
So it doesn't matter that my thunder step does 25 points of damage.
Is it to everyone or just creatures that you designate?
I'm so sorry to the Zadar, but you should have been more useful. It has to make a con saving throw.
Okay.
Will that include me?
No, you're not within 10 feet of me.
Oh, okay.
So con save does have really good con. Magic resistance. That is a 19.
That just meets. So it takes half of 25.
For 25. Okay. 12 points of damage to the Zadar as a sonic boom, essentially.
Yeah, so this is a thunderclap that can be heard for 300 feet. So Loren basically looks around, sees everyone basically with the Tempest protecting the ship, and just kind of goes, like, cracks her neck and just goes into the breach. And just as she vanishes in this monstrous sound and then reappears, basically, I counted it out, balancing precariously on like the very edge of the red phoenix.
Hey.
It is almost like it's like 95 feet. Just make it. Okay. So she gets there. She has Gun Fieri with her, and now I do my actual turn, which I didn't prepare for. So, okay, when I am on the Red Phoenix, does anything look different to how I remember it? Is there now a door labeled where monsters will appear? Like, is there a monster door?
Not clearly, no. It is basically, it seems very structurally the same, except for sleek black. Like, aesthetically, it is a sleek black with red and some gold undertones and highlights and detail.
So, like, the wheel is still there, it's just had a paint job.
Yeah.
Okay. She kind of takes a moment as she balances there on this ship she called home for so many years. And she looks at the robot that in her mind took it from her. So, I don't know, is Gun Fieri an action to use, Alton?
I think I like to use him on my go.
Okay, you'll go. Cool. That means
Yeah.
I can do two things. So, Loren is going to... Oh, look at that. Is Prime, like, floating in the air? Because he was going towards the look, right?
Still on the ground though.
Still on the ground? Thanks for standing in a straight line, boys. Lightning bolt.
Okay.
4th level. So they have to make dex saves and beat a 19.
Yeah.
Or they're going to take 8d6 damage.
So Prime is immune to lightning damage. However, Exley is not. He's not even resistant. So he will take... so what was it? Dex save? That's a nat 1 for a total of 5.
Okay, well, sucks to suck, Exley Wyverns Weirdos. So that becomes 66. 6 is a 12. 3, 6 is a 18. 4, 6 is a 24 points of damage. Plus, it's a lightning spell, and I'm a storm sorcerer, so I can choose to add 5 damage to that.
Yeah.
So Exley actually takes 29 points of lightning damage.
Okay, 9 points. Okay.
Yep. I don't believe anything else happens to him, although I did also, as she kind of holds her fingers out in a gun position and shoots off this lightning bolt, she does say, the paint job looks like shit, as everything non-flammable, like everything that's not a person in that 100-foot line also is set on fire.
Gun Fieri is looking fucking fantastic.
Gun Fieri matches the theme. It looks so
Yes.
good.
All right. So does the spell specify any effects to being on fire?
Hold on, I just have to scroll through. Long. The lightning ignites flammable objects in the area that aren't being worn or carried.
Okay.
So it's just normal fire.
Yeah.
And we're in an oxygen bubble.
Yeah.
So that'll burn up pretty quick. Sorry, boy.
All right.
And then potentially a bad move on my part, but I'm really mad that Prime didn't take any damage, and I can't seem to hurt this hunk of meat with a skull on it. So I'm gonna sorcery point bonus action another ray of frost
Okay.
at Prime. That is a 25.
That hits. It is also immune to cold damage.
Lose my mind. I'm going to throw myself into the astral sea. Okay, I guess I just used all my sorcery points. That's my turn. I guess, Darby, are you happy now?
Kind of. I mean, it's fairly standard for undead to be either
I don't want to hear
immune
your
or-
excuses.
or resistant
my
to cold
turn.
and lightning.
That's my turn. Thank you.
all right.
Good night.
Yeah, at the end of your turn, Exley is going to use some form of legendary action. Let's see what he wants to do. His legendary actions are... Okay. He is going to create a fungal storm with all 3 of his legendary actions around the spirited gull, spreading to a radius of 360 feet. And in fact, that might actually be big enough to... How big is 300? Is a 300 radius?
Definitely radius and not diameter, because that's wild.
That's all of astral space.
Yeah.
It's not quite,
Space just turned into mushroom.
but it does pretty much encompass the entire battlefield. or everything that is relevant at this point. So yeah, he's going to spread this over everyone, and I'm going to need everyone to roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Is this poison, by the way?
It is poison.
This isn't a spell by any chance, is it?
It is not a spell.
Is this a plant that is magically created?
No.
Janice.
12 for Janice is a failure, unfortunately.
Good for Fishman.
Also a failure.
22 for Gulut, though I don't know how it affects Gulut
Yeah.
because Gulut can't breathe.
Believe, do you
Doesn't
have
breathe.
what's it called?
I'll look
Do you have
further
resistance to poison? Either
Yeah.
way, you
into
make,
and immune to disease.
either way, you do make the save. Alton,
17.
That
and Gun Fury
just makes it.
9, and it's immune to poison.
Yeah. Ren,
18.
18 makes it. And Janice,
Janice rolled a 12.
12. That is a failure. And let me double check. So Eldrin's a nat 20. That's nice. The Zadar is immune. Tempest is immune. Prime is immune. Exley is immune. All right. So
Neris got a 16 as well.
that is just a failure.
Yeah. Neris is going to, seeing that this spore is coming and knowing what it does, as something like this has affected him before, he's going to reach into, still with his eyes kind of half closed, he's going to reach in, place a hand on his glowing divination orb, and he's going to attempt to re-roll that saving throw
Okay.
for Janice.
Okay. So is that Laura re-rolling or you re-rolling?
That would be Laura re-rolling.
Okay.
Damn, okay, bro. Hello. Alright. Be
Alright.
funny if I rolled worse. Let's see. Natural 19.
Well, that is a success.
Makes it a 27.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
So those who
Just got- Really quick question. Does Janice clock that this has happened at all? Or is this just Neris just yoinking a red thread and it's gone? How would that manifest?
So Neris would need to interact with you to essentially change your immediate future. So there would almost be a split second where you hear in the back of your head Neris's voice, just hold your breath.
Damn. Alright,
So,
that's 6L. Thank you.
those that failed take 27 points of poison damage. Those that succeeded take 13.
And with resistance, would that be?
Resistance, and was that a success as well?
Yeah.
Yep, so that would knock it down to 6 points of poison damage.
Poison, thank you.
Okay. So next is the Tempest. Tempest is going to it's gonna use its multi-attack. It's gonna do 2 slam attacks at you, Janice. So it has disadvantage for the weakening, but advantage from your reckless attacks, so those flatten out to regular.
Kind of hard for him to dodge when he's in it.
Yeah. The good thing is, one of those is still a nat 1. The other is a nat 19, for a grand total of.
That's more than double his AC,
Yeah.
so yeah.
And that does 22 points of thunder damage, which I believe you are resistant to, so halves to 11.
I actually am not. I'm resistant to lightning damage.
Only lightning.
Yeah.
So,
So,
yeah.
what's the total now?
22 points of thunder damage.
Ooh, so he manages to hold his breath with this like second of like fortune and manages to get like the spores get dissipated within this giant tempest creature, but he gets slammed in battered around like he loses his footing essentially, if you can call flying in the center of a storm footing. Damn, alright.
Okay. So the next turn is Galut.
So Gulut, as it sees Loren land/appear next to it, she would see it look across at her, and there's something in its eyes, the closest real thing that you can see to true fear, but it holds your gaze and it just gives you a nod. And I think in that moment you see a flash of an image. You've never experienced this from Galut before, but you think something in seeing its god changed it in the way that something changed in you. And an image flashes into your head of 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 and of Prime, and you see almost this fabricated world of you and Galut fighting back to back, you against 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, Galut against Prime, and as that dissipates, you see it nod to you again, and it moves forward. And as it moves forward, you see around it this shifting and changing, this warping of the world, as you see wisps of the dead almost breathe from the place where its lungs should be, through its ribs. These claws of, at first, frightening origin, and then you see those claws are furry. They're more closer to the paws of bugbears, and shrouded surrounding it, you see that Galut is surrounded by spirits that seem to know it. As a bonus action, for technical terms, Galut is casting Spirit Shroud on itself.
Okay.
As a bonus action. And because I am a paladin noob, would the spell casting blockers also count towards smites, like divine smites and stuff?
So as in, can you still smite even though you've cast a spell?
Yes.
Yes, you can, because it's you.
That is the correct answer, Darby.
You can only cast one spell. It's not, you can only use one spell slot.
Incredible, amazing. That's what I thought, but I thought I'd double check because, as I said, bit of a noob here when it comes to paladins, or at least playing paladins in the way that paladins are meant to be played, if you could not tell by the character that I am playing. And Galut, surrounded by these spirits that are just weaving out of its very self, out of its bone, it moves forward with a great sort of guttural roar, and it goes towards Prime. It's going to attack Prime with the Mistforged Claw. Can we chuck a first level Divine Smite on that?
You can. You don't need to decide until you hit, though.
You can. Perfect. No,
Wonderful thing about smites, you can choose whether you use them once you've actually made contact.
Oh, beautiful. Perfect. So that is a 25 to hit.
Oh, yeah, that certainly hits.
Thought so. Now, I will break up the damage here, but there is going to be a first level Divine Smite, and because it is an improved smite? Yeah, improved Divine Smite. I wasn't sure if that was the wording. Because it is an improved Divine Smite, it is 3d8 radiant damage.
Yeah.
On top of that, we have the Spirit Shroud radiant damage, which is an additional d8. The claw attack, which is a d8 plus 12 non-magical slashing. And then there's also 2d6 necrotic damage. What do I need to put apart of any of those?
Surprisingly, none of it, as it pertains to Prime. Also, note your slashing damage is considered magical. Your claw is considered a magical weapon.
I think that's what I meant. Did I say non-magical? I meant magical. Yeah, okay. All right, so what do we got? 3, 4, 5, come on. 11, 14, 18, 19, 31 points of damage, which is not as much as I would like, but is still pretty good. That's on the first attack.
Yeah, Prime is looking a bit shaky.
Cool. Then on the second attack, that is... Sorry, just doing a bit of brain maths, which isn't great. 21 to hit.
21 hits.
Amazing. We're going to put another first level Divine Smite in there, and I'm just going to double check that spell, that Spirit Shroud spell.
Whether it's once per turn. It's any attack.
When you hit a creature. Beautiful. So that is going to be the same lots of damage. So we
Yep.
got 7, 11, 13, 17, 20, 22, 23, 35 points of damage for the second hit.
All
I
right.
think that's it.
So Prime is barely still standing.
Yeah, so Loren, you see all of this happen, and as a note, just on the technical side of things, Darby, Prime cannot move, or Prime can move, but its movement away is reduced by 10 feet. It also cannot heal until the start of my turn. It cannot gain
Lovely.
any hit points until the start of my turn.
Lovely.
As part of Spirit Shroud. So the spirits surrounding Galut kind of reach forward towards Prime, almost yearningly pulling it. So if it starts pulling away, it just gets tugged back towards Galut. That's what you see, Lorraine.
All right. So next is the Zadar. It's just going to float there. Then 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧. So 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 is going to. I mean, I'm going to start with the bonus action of symbiotic enter. So he's going to get. So the spores are going to bolster around him, and he will get 80 points of temporary hit points. Then he is going to... Yeah. Ren, can you roll me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Well, well, well. Isn't it good I took the lucky feat? I rolled the exact same thing on those dice, and they were both 17s. So that was a wisdom?
Yes.
A wisdom save.
Yes.
Oh boy. 18.
That is still enough. Its DC at this stage is not the greatest. So you feel similar magic to what Galut felt before, this kind of polymorphing magic as you shake it off. And 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 is going to make his way elsewhere. Next is Prime. Prime is going to take out its blade that seems to thrum with a dark necrotic energy and trying to slash at you, Galut. So that's 3 attacks. So let's see. The lowest is a 17.
17 doesn't hit.
Okay. Then an 18.
Were the other two 17s also?
No.
18.
Okay, so 18 will hit, and then the other one is a 25, which will definitely hit.
Yeah, they both hit.
All right. So the first, you manage to dodge out of the way of the first hit before he brings up the sword again and slashes at you for 15 points of necrotic damage, and then lifts the blade up over your head, and you duck your head out of the way, but the blade still gets you in the shoulder for another 17 points of necrotic damage.
We're still up. We're still here.
Okay. And additionally, you can't regain hit points until the start of your next turn. Until the start of Prime's next turn.
Touche.
My trick used against me. Yeah, Galut takes both of them, and its already bared teeth shown even further towards Prime as it looks at it with hatred.
All right. So that is Prime's go. It doesn't have any additional traits at this stage. All right. So next is Loomis. So Loomis is going to... What can Loomis do in this moment other than just blast at enemy? Loomis, yeah, it's about all he can do at the moment. He's just going to do another... He's going to do another moonbolt at 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧. So that will hit this time for 15 points of radiant damage against 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧. All right. But next is Alton.
So Alton, he already had his sights locked on Neris, trying to assist him, and Neris is looking in a really bad way after that, like, fungal poison. And so Alton's going to keep trying to run towards him, but his legs they seem to be moving so slow. And the distance just seems as great as ever, and he remembers how very recently he was too slow to save a patient. So he's going to make sure he can get some healing to Neris as fast as possible. Now, what I'm gonna try to do is throw a potion of greater healing to Neris. I was having a little Google. Would that be like an improvised weapon?
That's probably the best way
That kind
to
of range?
treat it. Yeah.
So Neris is still 35 feet away.
That's also only kind of Neris's illusory version on the deck. So you would need to get down below into the ship, into the helm. That's where Neris actually is.
No, I got tricked by the illusion.
It's okay, Alton's pretty exhausted.
Oh no, okay, there goes my plan, I guess.
I think you start running towards it and you notice a brief flicker in the image. Oh, god damn it. God damn it.
I guess that he'll get onto the comms and be like, Neris, how is the actual you holding up? Do you need help? Where are you? Still in there? Still at the helm?
There would probably be a response of, I'm still here, yes. As he's choking on fungal spores.
Oh shit, I'll try not to breathe more of that in. I'm on my way.
No, of course, I will just try not to breathe.
Oh man. I guess I can action surge to dash. I'm still not going to reach it though. Can I roll it down the stairs? Can I roll potion to Neris?
I'll allow it. Just roll me a d20.
Potion bottle have to... Yeah, is this a potion bottle constitution save?
I don't think...
I have a threshold here in mind. So just roll me a d20.
I'm going to use lucky on that.
I definitely would have shattered if it was in that one.
Okay, 10.
10. Okay. Neris, you feel after a moment this bottle hit your foot. You have a moment where you see a vision of Alton throwing the bottle, rolling it along the ground down the stairs, and it just shattering. And as you're seeing that, you feel something tap at your foot and look down and realize, oh, that was just a vision of a possible occurrence. This by your foot is the potion.
So Al was just kind of desperately scrambling, but not thinking very well. He's just thinking that he does not want to lose another patient. So he's just going to keep running after that. That's his turn, but I'll swap over to Gunfieri.
Yes.
So Exley and Prime are inconveniently not together side by side anymore. But I'll see what I can do. So Gunfieri is going to be 5, 15. Can I do an attack without hitting Good Lord? I'm just going to quickly check that one.
Is it a cone?
It's a cone. Oh yeah, I can just.
You would be able to angle it in a way.
Yeah, he can angle it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So it's going to try to attack Exley. So give me a DC 13 dexterity saving throw.
Exley or Prime? Because you're by Prime.
Oh shit! Sorry,
Yeah.
Prime. My bad.
So DC 13 saving throw. Constitution, is it, or something else?
Oh yes, my ability dexterity.
Okay, it is not great at dex. That is a 6 total.
Yeah. All right. So it does a little puff of flame and then a bigger puff of flame as Prime gets 6 points of fire damage.
Okay, so it is still standing, but it is very charred, very dark.
There's a little angry little puff of smoke. There's just a little rolls its wheels around, ready for the next shot.
Looks like it's not going to take much to knock it down. So next is Neris.
I think Neris is trying to figure out a couple of options here. He's looking at the combat that's happening with Janice, 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, and the Tempest. He's looking at the combat that's happening down on the Red Phoenix. He gets this weird vision of Alton throwing a glass bottle at the floor. There's a lot happening, and I think he's just going to sort of stop, feel this glass bottle kind of impact his foot, open up his eyes, properly look down, just be like, oh, pick it up, he'll open it, he'll drink it. It's like almost like it's some form of Red Bull. Other energy drinks are available. And that just sort of, that moment just kind of gives a little bit of clarity. And he kind of snaps his vision up at the Tempest, down at the Phoenix, up at the Tempest, down at the Phoenix. And this cannon you can sort of see flicking almost blindingly fast at both targets as well. And just double checking, drinking a potion is a bonus action.
Bonus, yes.
Yes, perfect. I think he's going to get a little bit too concerned that the cannon is going to hit one of his companions in the combat. So instead, are we close enough? Is Neris within 120 feet of 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 as he moves out of combat?
Let me. So 100 feet. He is not.
Is not.
𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 is about 150 feet away from the spirited gull, and then plus however far away Neris is.
I think Neris is going to consider using a spell, but then in seeing 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 leave that combat, realizes there's an opportunity and will shoot this cannon at 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 as he steps away.
Oh, roll to hit.
There's a 19.
19 does not hit. You armored your boy well in Barovia.
I did indeed. I'm proud, but also disappointed. I think Neris trying to not hit anyone who's in combat kind of adjusts that cannon just a little bit too much. The cannon shot, this beam of energy just flies over the top of 𝗖𝗔𝗧's head.
Okay. And yeah, it just hits into a portion of the citadel, doing a little bit of purely aesthetic damage to it. So, next is 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧. So 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 is going to... It occurred to me that I have not been checking to see if his breath weapon comes back. Roll that once and twice. It has not. He is going to... and remembered about the Tempest. The Tempest has shaken off the weakening breath. 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 is going to do his multi-attack. Bite, claw. So the bite is going to hit. Yeah, it all hits. He's got pretty good. That's 28, 18. So Janice, because of your proximity, you would notice 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 essentially go into more or less a frenzy of attacks against this Tempest, trying to bring it down. And he does some damage to it, but it's still hanging in there. All right. It is worth noting it is shaky now. Right. So next is the Fishman.
All right, let's keep on doing what we've been doing whilst there are 3 people to attack. So he's going to go invisible because he pops back in once he starts his turn. So he's going to use his bonus action to turn invisible again. He's then going to go for Prime. So he's going to roll, and he got a 26 to hit.
Nice.
Not a natural 20, unfortunately. And that was for 8 damage, but I re-rolled that piercing damage and it got bumped up by 1, so 9 piercing damage.
Okay, so as the bolt blasts through, it knocks the skull off of Prime's head and the body falls limp to the ground.
I was worried the 9 wouldn't be enough.
It had 4 hit points left.
No. Second attack is at 𝗖𝗔𝗧𝗧. So again, 2 rolls, got a 23 to hit for that one.
23 will hit.
Excellent. And then that one was just 13 piercing.
Okay. All right.
And finally, because he got those 2 hits, he can do third attack.
Lovely.
And this is at the Tempest. Has to be a different opponent, unfortunately. 4 to hit for that one.
24 again will certainly hit.
And then that one was just 13 piercing damage. Of note, he's trying to be careful not to hit his allies in the chaos that are currently in the Tempest as well. So he'll shoot mindfully. And that is Fishman's turn.
Okay. Next is Janice. Your go.
All right. So there's a very brief moment of mutual, this feeling of mutual respect as a warrior, as you see this blur of gold sort of just wail on this storm that we are trying to fight. And Janice is like, all right, let's do this. I don't even know if you can hear me, but get out of here. You're fighting the wrong fight. And he's again going to... He's not even really worried about the fact that he's getting battered around that much. He no longer has control about where he is in this Tempest, which, if there are other people close by with him, would not be great because, he does still, they're astral manifestations, but they're like planar manifestations, but like his wings are still like not, like the little feathers are getting like split and broken. But he continues to hone in, and another strike with the Wayfighting Rive will attack Reckless again, so that's with advantage. So that's a 28 to hit.
28 will certainly hit.
Sweet. So it's 17 points of slashing damage on that one. And is it like resistant, completely immune to the thunder damage? Cool. Then I won't bother rolling that. And then again, he manages to find purchase, and then again tries to hone in on that. And that is, oh boy, okay. That one's a 16 to hit.
A 16 will just miss.
Yeah, so he manages to make purchase, and then again goes to strike again, but because this is just this wailing, unnatural force of nature, not that dissimilar to storms that he's had to sail ships through in the past, but made real, made living, he can't go back to strike the same point. It's already moved along, and so he gets thrown about.
There is a split second where I think your brain becomes muddled a little bit, Janice, and you think about that interaction, and you hear Neris's voice just, you can re-roll.
Oh my god, okay, that was a 19 again.
Hey.
That's just Neris's roll 19 attack. Oh, so that's a 30 to hit.
Okay, yeah, that definitely becomes a hit.
So you're almost in this chaos, like he can barely hear anything, like can't hear anything with his ears. There's this like whirlwind thunder point that he's centered in on, but he just hears somehow Neris's words, and he adjusts his glaive and strikes again, and that's 12 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
On attack. Thank you.
So, next is Laura.
Okay, so a peek behind the curtain. We've had like 4 combats today.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty tapped as a spellcaster, but you, Mr. DM, gave me a very, very powerful magical item. So Loren watches Exley start meandering towards like the other side of the ship, to the part that is docked up against the citadel, to the part that stands closest to a god and to his mission, and she summons the last of the energy within her staff to create its own magical force, and she calls out, "You metallic piece of shit, you're not winning today!" And I would like to use the last of my 6 charges in my Staff of the Stormcaller to cast Windwall between the ship and the citadel.
Okay.
I counted, it is exactly 50 feet where the ship is docked against the moon base. That is how long Windwall is. There is now a 15-foot thick wall of wind. If anything tries to pass through it, they have to make a strength saving throw.
Okay, lovely.
Or they take a lot of damage. So it also keeps fog, smoke, and other gases at bay. And anything that tries to projectile through the wall, like, I don't know, an arrow towards Loomis, automatically misses.
Okay.
It gets directed upward. Because I'm still assuming that there's a bunch of monsters in the bottom of this ship, and Exley was going to go let them out to play. So now they have to struggle to go out to playtime. And Exley's not close enough, but basically something will take bludgeoning damage if it tries to get out of the ship now. And I don't even have enough sorcery points to use a bonus action at this point. Actually, no, I'm going to do a stupid bonus action. Loren has used so much of her magical power. In a meta sense, she has nothing above a third left. And she is exhausted and bloody and scared. And as this wall of wind appears, and I don't know if, and as she looks at the allies around her, she is going to bonus action create business card and make a little business card that says Gun Fieri says fuck you, and then stick it on the side of Gun Fieri. That's her whole turn.
Lovely. Take inspiration for that. All right. So, on a more serious note, next is the Astral Temper. So the Astral Tempest is, let's see what it is going to do. So it is going to use its, I need to roll to see if it gets that back. It does not. Would it have got, it still wouldn't have gotten it back. So it's gonna make a couple of thunderous slams into Janice. Okay. Do you want the good news or the bad news first?
Hit me, I can take it.
Okay, well, I mean, I'll start with the good news. The good news is that one of them was a natural 3 for a total of 19. Oh, that would probably still hit, I imagine.
Yeah, it does. That's not good news, actually.
Because I don't know the result of the second one, am I able to use a portent or no? Or is it
You are.
I think Neris is going to try and just focus on this astral creature and just send his illusory creation essentially just flying straight at where this creature's eyes he imagines it would be to try and put him off. And that second attack is a 7.
Yeah, so it's still going to hit. You saved it from being a critical hit. So with the first attack, you take 25 points of thunder damage. And with the second, it is 22 for a grand total of 47 this turn.
So Janice yells out, but it's space, so it doesn't echo through. It's just encapsulated within the storm, but he's still standing.
Yeah, if I'm calculating this correctly.
Yeah, look, it's fine. It's fine. It would have been worse if my little guardian angel didn't rescue me, so it's fine. Everything's great. That's cool.
So, next is Galut.
Min on the other side of space. So Galut, after having this other creation in front of it decapitated, it turns to, I guess, where it would be able to see Fishman, and it just gives Fishman a nod. Turns and nods in the direction where Fishman would be. It turns and locks eyes with Loren just to sort of reassure itself that she's still there. And it sees that she is and sees this great wall, and it just gives her another nod. 10, raising its claw, it goes forward. Oh, this is complicated. So, Galut moves up to Exley. There's so much going on inside of it that all that is left is pain. And it raises its claw and it slashes down as hard as it possibly can. What do we got? So that's a dirty 20 to hit on Exley.
That will just miss.
Okay. And it so it hits down, and in like its own conflict and pain, it just hits and scrapes the deck of the Phoenix. This sound, this guttural pained sound comes from it as it slashes back upwards. That is much better. Thank you, my little baby. That would be a 27 to hit.
27 will suddenly hit.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So I am just going to quickly double check some. I believe there was more than one kind of smite that Old Mate could do, but I can't find where that was because I am bad at Paladin.
So there are smite spells you may have access to. Those would be bonus action to cast them ahead. Smite.
Well, yeah, let's do it. So as it reaches up with its bonus action, it can't because it's got its concentration. Never mind. As it reaches up and slashes through with its backhand, it is going to cast a 3rd level Divine Smite, which adds another additional 2d8 on top of the 3d8 for Divine Smite. Now, would you like me to separate the damage here with the knowledge that there will be divine, magical slashing, and radiant?
No.
So we have 8, 15. That's another 8. So that's 16, 31, 38, 42, 45, 46, 49, 62 points of damage to 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 on that backhand.
So you fry off with this radiant energy all the remaining like fungus that was protecting him, and there's a bit of damage left over to kind of carve into the wood and metal of his form underneath.
Yeah, and I think that's all that it can do
Okay.
for its turn.
All right.
Oh, you're looking it up. When
Oh.
Darby is finished the word, don't say the word. I want, Jake, I want to
Oh.
hear how you think it's pronounced, please.
As in me or Darby? Yeah.
No,
I know
you.
how it's pronounced.
Oh, did you do it?
I had a
Yeah.
feeling Darby would know the word.
Damn. It's the
It
it's
is-
the double letters that get me.
It is
It's
a
the double
painful
letters.
word or word.
Oh, it is. It's a bad word or word. I want to know how you think it's
I
pronounced.
mean, my brain says Inui, but
And you are?
N-U-I.
On we.
On
Yeah,
we.
the word
Actually,
where. That's a hard word or word, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would
Oh man.
It's one consonant and 3 vowels, basically.
Damn. Yeah, I've only ever read it as NUR because I've never heard it said out loud.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. No, I needed to know how Jake thought it was pronounced because of the first time we went to Zambreros. I needed to know.
What did I say for Zambreros?
Chipotle sauce.
Oh yeah, I said it
Oh.
unironically now as well. I might have gotten it wrong the first time, or it might have been a
I call it
stutter.
Chipotle all the time.
But
because
yeah,
the first time you were genuine, and I remember looking at you and just being like, "You mean Chipotle?"
last time I went with one of my mates, I ordered pho, and then when he was ordering his sauce, I was like, "Mate, you sound like an idiot. It's Chipotle. You're making them laugh," because they were laughing after I said that. I'm like, "Look, you're making them laugh, mate." And he's like, "Well, what did you get?" I said, "I got Verd sauce."
Darby, just
Thank
before
you.
you go, sorry. I just have it. How far can the spirited gull move from stationary in a round?
Ooh, let me find that.
Because I know I can accelerate perpetual. Yeah.
So